Andrea from Prairie Sky DIY, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba, Canada. I am so excited to share with you some products from the 2024 mini catalog that runs from January until April, and I'll also be showing you a couple of the freebies that you can get during Celebration as well. Celebration runs from January into February. For our very first project, I'm going to be making a bookmark, and I'll be using the Doggone Friendly stamp set. This was a no-brainer for me. I have dogs. I love dogs. I needed this. We're going to be using Trekking Along for our sentiment. And the colors that I'm going to be using are Pebbled Path and Early Espresso. I've also got the 2 3/8 inch stamp set here. So the first thing that we are going to do is to make our bookmark. I've got the Stampin' Trimmer here. So just to do a quick review for our measuring, we've got the 1/4 inch lines are the long ones. And then we've got these smaller, slightly smaller, that are the 1/8 lines. And then the smallest lines are the 1/16. So 2 3/8, we're going to go just past the 1/4 inch mark. So halfway between the 1/4 and the half, we are just going to mark right there, or cut right there, I should say, not mark. And I'm going to do, I think, the full length of the book, or the paper, so 8 1/2. And then this one, we're going to do 2 1/4 inches. So it's going to be just a little bit narrower. And actually, I just changed my mind on the height because our stamp is not 8 1/2. The stamp is, in fact, just under 6. So I'm going to stamp and then I'm going to trim. And then we're going to make our Early Espresso just a little bit smaller as well. I'm going to grab a scrap to stamp on here, and my ink color is Early Espresso for this. Now, this is a background stamp. I don't always apply the sticker onto my backgrounds, and rarely do I use a big stamp block for this, because for me it's easier to stamp and lay the paper onto the stamp. So we're just going to ink it up. I don't really need to ink the entire piece, but I'm going to. All right, now let's take a look and see. I'm going to do a little bit in from the edge and just gently place from the top to the bottom and then just rub. You might get a little inky, but all of the inks are water soluble, so easy, quick cleanup. Okay, let's see what that impression is like. Not too bad. I like that it's a little subtle. I should probably re-ink my Early Espresso, but that's not a today thing. All right, so we're going to give it a trim because I didn't ink right to the top. Now, with your Stampin' Trimmer, I don't know if you can see, but as soon as you can see something in the cutting gutter, your blade will trim it. So I'm just going to trim there, pretty close to where I wanted it to be. And then we're going to do right to the bottom. Just give that a trim there. So this is 5, what is this? 5 5/8. So we're going to cut this one at 5 1/2. Hopefully I mathed that properly. Nope, I did not. So not a big deal. I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this guy. I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch off the top. All right. I don't get too terribly fussed about much in my craft room. There we go. All right. And then we're going to do a punched piece of early espresso. And because I had this the same size as the punch, I'm just going to line it up, give it a little bit of a squeeze so that the paper doesn't move, and punch it out. So not very much heading to the scrap bin from that piece. And then from our piece of pebbled path here, I'm just going to punch about a half circle. All right, so then figure out, oops, I forgot to grab adhesive, which is, you know, an integral. And there goes the ink pads. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Andrea's craft room, where it's always an adventure. All right, adhesive. I just moved all of my ink pads into a new display for on top of my desk. And this one's empty because of course it is. And it's right in the middle of where I keep my adhesive. There we go. All right. So now we're going to just add our adhesive to the bottom of our circle and place it so that the adhesive is covered. Now I'm doing it onto the front so that when we add our other layer of paper, it'll be a little bit additionally secured. Okay, and then I'll just do, I typically just do edges unless I have applied water or something onto our stamp, but because this is going to be a bookmark, I want it to be as flat as possible, so I'm not adding any Wink of Stella or anything. I think I might add a little hint of color, but we shall see. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab this guy over here. I'm using Every Day is a Fresh Start, which to me I think is a pretty fitting sentiment for a book. And then Trucking Along was an online exclusive, or still is an online exclusive, I should say. So that is not available in any catalog. It's only available on the Stampin' Up! Website, which is stampinup.ca. If you are in Canada and don't currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can pop over, and if you want to make a purchase, you can use my information. I'm also going to be posting a couple of games and fun things over on my Facebook page. So be sure to pop over to Prairie Sky DIY on Facebook, and if you are in Canada, you may participate in the games. So actually, I think pretty much anybody can participate because I will have a couple of digital prizes as well. So there's our bookmark. I am going to add just a little dash of color here. Just going to reach for my blends. And because I kind of want to maintain a little bit of a monotone look, I'm just going to use, oh, this is basic black. It'll be too dark. I'm just going to kind of highlight a little bit. This is Crumb Cake. I'll use this one. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of the things here. Well, maybe the tags will be what I mark. So there's a Chihuahua. This one looks like a Whippet. There's a German Shepherd, a St. Bernard or a Newfoundland dog. They're all really sweet. And I'll do, what else will I do? Pick something up top. This one has a rope in his mouth. I'll use that one. There. So there's our first project. I will be back in just a few with our second one.